Nebraska football got its start, you know when, Mary?
1890.
How did you know? It's right there, that's why. Across the decades, there's still one stretch that really stands out.
The 90s were legendary in Lincoln, and fans now have an opportunity to own a piece of that era.
From teammates, former Husker football coach Tom Osborne, Jennifer Benson is also with the mentoring program. Good to see both of you this morning.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
I don't know who wants to take this question. I mean, by now we kind of all know what teammates is, but for people that may not know, what is teammates?
Well, Teammates is a mentoring program, school-based. So I used to say 1 hour a week, but really we found that frequency of contact is the main thing. So sometimes people go and have lunch with their mentee, and that might be 35, 40 minutes. Maybe it's during a study hall, whatever. But consistency is important. We find that if somebody meets with their mentee 24 times a year or more, that great things begin to happen. We're currently mentoring 7,500 kids in Nebraska over into Iowa, about 133 communities, roughly 1,500 here in Omaha.
And the need is there. I hope we get a chance to talk about how our viewers can join you at Teammates and be part of transforming lives, because that's, of course, how you've dedicated, not just in retirement, of course. The organization's been around for a long, long time now. But what's coming up with this gala? That's one of the reasons we wanted to have you here now, not just since it's the start of football season, but you've got this event coming up, Jen.
Sure. We are really excited about the Teammates Tailgate Gala this year. It's going to be November 6th at the Embassy Suites in La Vista. Our featured entertainment this year is actually an anniversary celebration of the 1995 National Championship team.
That was a good team.
It was.
Nice
bad.
Nice little collection of players you had there, Coach.
So will a number of those players be at the gala?
They will be, yes. We are expecting Tommy Frazier and Aaron Graham, and a good handful of others.
And we were talking about the turf. I mean, this is really championship turf from those years. How did you acquire that? How did Teammates get a hold of that?
It's actually kind of funny. About a year ago, we got a phone call from the company that had removed the turf back in 1999 when the first field turf was installed. And the turf has been sitting in a warehouse in Nebraska City for 15, 20 years.
How crazy.
Yeah, and they said, would you like to do something with it? Would you like to sell it? We think it could be a great fundraiser.
Right?
Yeah. So we really spent a year, trying to figure out how to move a football field and sell it.
So what is the process like now? Is there an auction? Is there a set size piece and you pay so much for it and then the money goes to Teammates? Explain that part of it.
Yeah, we've got some great big pieces that will be for sale. We've got a couple of center ends from Kirk Pavilion and Memorial Stadium, the end zones, and then some of the yard markers. So like the 50-yard line, if you've always dreamed of having that in your backyard. Those are going to go up for auction on November 6th. It'll be a live auction and an online auction. The other piece of that is we're actually creating what we call productizing, which is creating some pieces that anyone can buy, and those will be available online. We'll have some turf in little memory boxes, turf in plaques, maybe some coasters. So great big pieces and little bitty pieces.
Coach, I imagine you have some memories from those times on that field. Do you have any specific memories stand out from that era, from that turf?
Well, there's a lot of them. And of course, 1994 was an exceptional year because we had significant injury problems. Tommy Frazier went down early, and Brooke Beringer took over, and we played Colorado in '94. And Colorado had great players. I think we're fairly heavily favored, and we beat them 24-7 or something like that. Brooke played a great game, and of course the '95 team was exceptional because. Usually, if you go through undefeated, you're going to have a close call or two, maybe a lucky bounce. But that year, nobody came close. You know, the closest score we had, I think, was 14 points. And then we played Florida at the end of the season, and both teams were undefeated, and we were ranked 1 and 2. And then, usually you expect a real struggle. And we went out, and I think we beat them by 40-some points.
Wow.
So that was an exceptional team, and for a little while I got thinking, well, maybe I was a pretty good coach. And then the next year, those guys went into NFL, and I think we had about 2/3 of them started for NFL teams. And I realized that it was more talent than it was coaching. But we had a great team that year, and somebody, I think ESPN named the 4 outstanding teams in history. And one was a New York Yankees team, one was a hockey team and another team, and then that 1995 team. So it certainly was one of the greatest teams in college football, and there would be some who would say 1971, some would say 1995, but it was a great team.
Depends on what area you grew up in, probably.
Yeah.
That's right.
You never did lose on a Hail Mary, though. That wasn't that tough to watch, though. Seeing a game.
Well, it was difficult. That's a hard way to lose,
Yeah.
and as you know, those are low chances that you're going to have somebody convert. I don't know what the odds would be, but still, you see it every year. You know, you saw it against I think Arizona beat USC on one of those last year, and you'll see 3 or 4 every year. And so it's probably a little more common than what you think, but it's something that you would think would just never happen, but it does.
Well, we'll have another chance to get a victory on Saturday, another
That's right.
home game. We'll be watching that, of course. The Tailgate Gala, there are still tickets available. We want to make sure that if you want to be there to help celebrate the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers, the national championship team, you see the information there at Embassy Suites La Vista. Tickets are available online. Go to teammates.org. They're also looking for mentors, and if you're the least bit called, if it's in your heart to sign up, join us now. There's a big drive underway. During the fall season, we talk about it. Sign up online and make a difference in a young person's life at teammates.org.
Yeah, some nice things happen on that field in that era, but Coach, the other thing that was pretty important, I was in the marching band those years. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember you.
yeah, I know,
Oh,
I know.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, it's good to see you.
See ya.
So nice, even to you.
I know.